Hey, what's going on, OrbisX family? All right, so welcome to a special edition of the Off the Clock Show. You're joined with your host, Sean Gervais from OrbisX CRM, and Marshall Hill is joining us in spirit today. He's having some internet difficulties today, but not his fault. He wanted to be here. We tried tuning in a few times and kept kicking out. So, anyway, we're going to proceed as is because that's what we do here at the Off the Clock Show. So, I'm going to do a quick little rundown. Detailers, we all love before and afters. So this isn't a before and after necessarily, but a before and after is a side by side of two things that are vastly different usually. So we're going to do that today. We've got two OrbisX members from vastly different approaches to their business. And I'm going to go over some things. I'm working with one of them right now to kind of turn things around for them, kind of improve things because they have been having some difficulties with, the detailing industry and getting their footing in business. And yeah, so we're working together to kind of turn things around for them. So I'm going to go over first the good, then the bad, then the ugly between these two. So first off, I wanted to lead in with a shining example. I'm just going to mention this website you're looking at here. And for those of you that are listening and not watching, so basically I'm looking at a website for one of our members, Rinser. Uh, amazing job on the website, phenomenal. I'm going to break down the key components and explain what's great about them and why and how you should do this for your business as well. And then we're going to jump into the second one, which is Prestige Auto Salon Detailing. So we'll jump into that one as well, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. So to start off, I mentioned the shining example. We're going to actually switch gears and we're going to lead in with this one here, which is Prestige Auto Salon Detailing. So initial thoughts is so they are kind of having some trouble staying consistent and having consistent jobs booked, consistent revenue coming in. Not to mention just growth that should be happening, but consistency, even just maintaining a steady flow of existing customers, so on and so forth. It's proving difficult for the business to continue unless they experience some growth, and that's where utilizing a system like OrbisX is coming in to help them revitalize their business. So that's going to play an active role, as well as kind of tightening up and buttoning up a lot of their ads and their exposure and presence online. So to start with, just searching their phone number, for example, a few things come up in Google. And so, let's look at some highlights. Some of the pluses. Okay, so they do have a 5-star rating. That's great. It is based on only 18 Google reviews. I have a feeling that if they were to get, one or two not 5-star reviews, that's going to drop down to, 4, 4.1, and then maybe even in the 3 range. And it'll probably be one of those posts where it's like, got my first, 1-star review today. Shit, what do I do? Life is over, and that kind of thing. Which is an important thing because when you're building the processes of a business, it's all these little things that you have to think about. It's like, okay, so you have, hey, 5-star rating. So one thing they probably haven't ever thought about is how do you reply to a negative one? How do you reply to a 3-star? It's not negative necessarily, but it's not great either. It's kind of mediocre. So how do you reply to those? And once you put those, you know, procedures in place, you just know, like, hey, when we get a 1-star, this is how we reply. What's our thing that we do to reach out? So typically, when I'm doing a deep dive on a business like this, I take a look at something like, okay, 18 reviews and having trouble with consistent clientele and growing the business. So that usually tells me that the client base wasn't substantially large. And with that being, so let's just take the number we do know. So there's 18 Google reviews. They're positive. So there's 18 people that were happy with the service. How come they haven't used the service again? How come they haven't recommended people to the service? How come they haven't booked their wife's car or their husband's car? How come they haven't booked their I don't know, a buddy of theirs car? Whatever it is. How come that number hasn't grown beyond that? That's something to take a look at. And if there are only 18, these should be the happiest 18 people ever, and you are seeing them every week, and you're cleaning their cars, and life is good. But that's obviously not the case here. So when I look at something like that, I'm like, okay, so low review count. So I'm like, okay, so probably low customer count. So the follow-up game is probably not very strong. The post-service game is probably not very strong. The asking for referrals, that's great. but following up with them to get referrals and so on and so forth, there's probably nothing in place for that at this time. So it's important to settle those pieces up, and that's where OrbisX comes into play. Now, if I look at several other things, we'll just go through a few things. So here, if I look at the top listing here, so hey everyone, I'm a local car detailer and have a passion. So that's what shows up as the first result, searching for the phone number, and boom, we get this, which is posted obviously in a local community group. And it says, hey everyone, I'm a local car detailer and have a passion to make vehicles look brand new again. I've been in the business almost a decade, and on top of detailing, I specialize in paint, polishing, and sealants. Reach out today. Special discount is on my website. And then he lists the website. Perfect. Google page as well with a phone number. Okay, so we got the phone number there. That's good. Looking at this, okay, so I can see there's some photos, okay, some cars getting cleaned. We've got some soap suds on one, and then we've got some other ones, and nice shiny pictures of it. So one thing, I know it's not a huge deal for us at our shop. We don't care as much, but I noticed one of the photos has a license plate in it. Ideally, you try not to get customers' license plates in there, or just there's like signs you can get pre-made. Worst case, if we're in a pinch, we just put a microfiber over it. So we usually keep a dark gray microfiber on hand and toss it over the license plate. Life is good. It's all those little details that sometimes customers are like, ah, man, he's gonna come clean my car, and then my address and my license plates posted on the internet. Like, people think all kinds of things. One of the biggest things I notice here, though, is that the hat on backwards. You got the uniform on, that's great. You went halfway there, boom, the uniform is great. The hat on backwards, eh, it depends on the image you're looking for, but I think that you always want to lead with your best foot forward and look as professional as possible. And I realize, yes, guys, we are just cleaning cars. It is just car care. But at the same time, it is car care. So the attention to detail to your own image is just as important as the pictures with, the soap suds and the nice, I can see he's got a wash mitt and he's going over a vehicle, and then, you show the nice, sexy, shiny exterior of the cars. That's all important stuff, of course, but also so is your physical appearance that you're presenting to the world as well. And so, hat forward, my opinion, just it sends a much more professional image. And I mean, if you can go without the hat, great, even better. But yeah, so that's first takeaway I have there. Second thing is you're reaching out for customers, and the first thing you mention is special discount is on my website. Okay, that's a decent start to a call to action. You're getting them to the website. Okay, that's great. Me personally, I found that in these kind of groups, the minute you mention special discount, you're going to get a certain type of customer. And you're instantly just trying to lead with price, really, and the negative price, in fact, like the lowest price possible. So I feel it's always better to highlight other things. Like what I would have loved to see here is kind of a bullet list of one important thing is when you're posting in these community groups, like areas you service. As well as, I think in this case, highlighting the fact that this is a mobile detailer, so highlighting the convenience of the mobile service, highlighting that we come to you, that you don't have to, bring your car into a shop. We can, turn around the job in, no time, and then you'll be, able to just go pick up your kids or whatever the case is. Highlighting those kinds of conveniences and the value add is a lot more important than focusing on the price at this point, right? Save those moments for when you've tried to close the lead a few times and it's not working, and okay, we got to do something. Save that, then lead with the discount. But right off the gate, try and avoid that if possible. It is good here mentioning, local car detailer, perfect. People want to work with local, good. You have a passion to make vehicles look brand new again. Okay, been in the business almost a decade. Like, I feel like there's a lot of extra verbiage where there shouldn't be, and then there's not enough verbiage where there should be. So, in my opinion, I've been in the business almost a decade. I would just say 10 plus years serving the community, something like that. Something very, very simple, punchy, boom, done. I would mention the Google reviews. I'd say, 5-star Google review rated, stuff like that. You are dealing with in most cases, the second most expensive asset for a lot of people. And it's something that provides a lot of value to them as a family. Like transportation is huge, and we often don't realize it. We don't think about that in that context. That it's like, man, listen, the alternative for people is like walking to go get groceries. You know what I mean? Taking the bus. They have a vehicle. It provides a tremendous amount of value and convenience and time savings. That's why they got the vehicle. Taking the bus and walking is infinitely cheaper. It's just a lot less convenient. It's a lot more headache. And so people would rather, pay for the vehicle, pay for tire changes, oil changes, pay for insurance, pay for gas, pay for maintenance, upkeep, all this stuff. They incur all these costs because of the convenience. So understand that someone was willing to put themselves through so much pain, trade their time and their hours and their skill set to earn money only to just pass it off for that convenience. So taking care of it with the auto care side, you're providing protection and care for that convenience that they're having. So if we reframe it, you start to realize things. So at a base level, what I would do is take this as a starting point and I would just plug it into Luna, plug it into the AI and be like, hey, listen, here's what I just posted in this group. How could I make this more punchy? How could I add one or two calls to action? How could I add some bullet points that, say this or that, da 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 da, give me some suggestions. And at the very least, don't just take the first answer either. Say, give me 2 to 3 different iterations. And then you're going to choose from there and be like, oh, I like this version or I like this sentence from this one, and then combine them together, right? And you're going to make a masterpiece. So that's what I recommend doing with this. Now, this seems super simple. It's like, it's just a simple community post. But the reality is that with the power of technology we have today, that post can go out to, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands, depending on the size of your community. And you've only got that one shot in a way where you want them to save that post, book that post. You want them to, or bookmark, I should say. You want them to take action on that post, show their friend maybe, be like, hey, Tim, your cars are hideous, show the post, share the post, whatever. So you really got to take that time to do so. So anyway, that's enough about the post. So that was the first thing that popped up. I'm going to now go to the website and I'll kind of break that down, what I see there. So first thing you get there, okay, simple branding. I like it. You've got, very simple colors and they match with the logo. Very, very simple. And boom, right there, great tagline right there in your face. Professional detailing at your doorstep. Perfect. That gives me the trust and confidence when I see professional detailing. It's not like, oh, some student detailers or something like that. But then also at your doorstep, boom, that's the convenience side of it, right? So if I see that, I'm like, okay, great. That's perfect. Now, some of the maybe drawbacks or issues with this one, I would say, is you have some good photos of cars. You have some good photos of cleaning cars, and I did check out your Instagram before this, so you actually have some video showing, paint correction. You had other ones just, cleaning exteriors, interiors, so on and so forth. That's the opportunity to showcase your actual work versus this generic image that just shows a bunch of cleaning supplies sprawled out on the floor. So that's where I would highly recommend putting that, and you got to make use of the assets that you have, which are the actual jobs that you've done. Scrolling down, you're now met with text discount for 10% off your first detail. So first off, I'm on your website. I haven't even seen one thing about services yet. I haven't seen one thing about, what's included with services. What's the advantage of going with you versus someone else? What you actually do? I haven't seen any of that. The first thing I'm greeted with is, hey, we'll just take 10% off of whatever price we have listed. All you got to do is text discount. So I know too, and I know a lot of customers know, okay, so you want me to text you that to get a discount code, which means you're now going to use my information to just hammer me with shit, which is fine if I'm interested, but at this point, you haven't interested me. I don't see anything here that has been like, yep, you can have my phone number. So you have to think of this, it's like dating. You want to get a girl's phone number or a guy's phone number, depending on the side of the fence you're on, and basically, you're going to go and approach this lady and you're like, hey, she's beautiful. I want to ask for her number. If you just walk up and you say, hey, give me your number and tomorrow you're going to have some food because you're going to take her to dinner. that's not very appealing. There's nothing that piques her interest. There's no, she's gonna be like, listen, creep, get away from me, right? There's no way, if you even make it that far. But that's essentially what this is saying without kind of building any kind of intrigue, any interest, displaying any value or anything. So it just kind of dives just straight into it. You're skipping a step. It's on chapter 34 of the book, but yet the customer, they're on chapter 1 or 2. So that's where I would refocus this, and instead you could even replace this, and you could put something where it's like we have some exclusive offers if you learn about our maintenance plans, for example. Click here to learn about our maintenance plans and receive 10% off, or even just a special bonus or something. Just leave it open. And then, boom, it's a way of at least building intrigue that, oh, they have maintenance plans. What's that about? And so, boom, they can enter their info. And usually in those cases, I would reserve the asking of the information for the second step. So you would say like, we have some amazing bonuses for the fall season or something like that. Click here for our promotions or something. Boom, they click there, and maybe to access that section, you say enter your phone number or something like that, and then to gain access to these unique, exclusive promotions, whatever. There's ways of basically you put in a gate where you can capture this information in order to do something with it. So moving on from there, though. Some highlights there. So okay, I do see book now. It's listed and it goes to their OrbisX booking form. Amazing, well done. The only difference I would say there is we do have an option with one line of code to embed it on a page. So instead of sending them away from your website, you can actually send them to a page on your website that you can make like book now or something and just embed it on the page so that they stay on your website still instead of being redirected away. And then you have your Instagram link there, which that's where you got to pull these assets from because here, I'll click there briefly, but man, you have lots of stuff here. So look, there's you got all kinds of stuff. This one I watched earlier, so that's where. And I actually like how you did this animation. You kept it fairly simple. Boom, is your paint scratched like this, and then you show it, and then you basically show the after. Amazing, well done, absolutely well done on that. Here I'll go. I'll show some other things. So and if you look at the vehicles and stuff, you've got some before and after, so on and so forth. So good stuff. So you got some content here, and that's where that's the kind of stuff I would use. I see you have a lot of focus on a lot of wheels too. You have a lot of stuff with wheels. But if you look at the vehicles, I can see the target audience. I see. I've seen a lot of trucks, which is great. Trucks I love. Trucks are easy to detail. The guys that drive trucks usually care about them for the most part. At the very least, they care about the interior being clean. If they're like, oh, I'm always on a job site, I don't really care about the exterior. Okay, fine, but they do care about the interior because that's where they spend a lot of time, right? So that's that's a great target market. But I think that narrowing down who you're going to be targeting and then going after them would be important as well. But anyway, so Instagram page there, great, and you got some good content on there. So after this text to discount stuff, we go down and you can see you've got your, interior and exterior detailing, paint polishing, ceramic coating. And so the only suggestion I would have here really is first off, you should kind of go to like a learn more page or something like that. So it's not just essentially showing what little information is here, basically, like interior exterior detailing. From a simple wash to an in-depth detailing, make your vehicle look and smell brand new. That's it. That's all I know. You're a mobile detailer, and I don't even know that you come to my house yet. Let me see when I do find that out. Once again, there's the picture with the hat backwards. I would change that personally. Longevity of your vehicle. Okay. Learn more. Our reviews. Contact us. So far, I haven't seen anything about you coming to me. Oh, there we go. Prestige Auto Salon mobile detailing. All right. So for the first time, I'm seeing the word mobile. Okay, perfect. So I think that in this case, you should definitely mention that sooner. I think you should say, like we come to you, right in your driveway, all kinds of stuff. I'll show you a really good example on the next website that I'm going to take a look at to go over with you. But you do have some good points. You put the phone number in multiple places. You've got a contact us form, which is great. There's a bunch of things here. We use the latest technologies, premium products. Okay, so I think a video showing you doing that is worth its weight in gold. Learn more. I'm not sure where that goes. Let's see. That goes to meet the owner. Okay, awesome, awesome. I like that. You got some backstory here. That's why I decided to start my own company. Good stuff. That kind of stuff is great, man. And that's where the only thing I'd recommend is putting up some photos of you actually doing the work, just to show your passion, and also maybe punch this up a bit with ChatGPT or Luna, and have a little more text there, things like that. Like you've got this image in the background of just a car driving by. Sure, it's shiny and it shows buildings in the reflection, but it doesn't show your work that you've done, and you've clearly done some good work. I can see it on your Instagram. So I would recommend putting that there. But yeah, so a few little things that I would tweak on the website wise, and then I would make that consistent across everything you're doing, all your channels, because I did notice like your Instagram varies differently from your Google Places page, which I think, let me click on this Maps link. So yeah, if I go here, Prestige Auto Salon, you did have somewhere with photos. Oh, there we go, see photos. All right, so you've got some photos here, but some of them. Oh, you used one of those before. Okay, good, good. But yeah, I would have, I don't know, made it more consistent, I guess, with the photos that you have on your Instagram. But I understand also they are different markets, but by and large, I think that adding stuff to the website that, like even this here, like Google testimonials on that page, look at all this white space, all that real estate. First off, it's like Google testimonials, and then I see the reviews here. If I look, view on Google, but then I see like business hours. Like, why is that on that page? And it's obviously because that's something they have as an embedded plugin. But I would just put a couple testimonials, maybe get some from past clients that are actually them talking, but definitely showing the work you actually did. That's worth its weight in gold. Seeing you in action is going to be worth a lot more than just talking about it. And I think that, especially mentioning the mobile side and focusing on that in this photo, like for example, this photo does say at your doorstep, right? I get the at your doorstep, but letting them know like in your driveway, showing a picture of like this picture. If you're gonna go with like an AI generated picture or a Photoshop type picture, at least show the car in a driveway, something that signifies that, oh, it's at your house, right? And so that's what I would do. And so to correct me earlier, because I did say I only saw mobile at the very bottom, but it is there at your doorstep, and that's good. Good headline. I would tweak it slightly. I would say, like instead of professional detailing, I would drop the professional and just put mobile detailing. I assume that since I'm on a company website, it is professional because it's a company website, and it would be shown in the proof is in the pudding kind of thing. But yeah, so that's some feedback I have for that one. We'll switch gears to the other one. Just give me 1 second. All right. So switching gears to the second site to show a comparison here of things you could look for. So here we've got same kind of thing. We've got, social icons at the top, beautiful, phone number, company logo, brand, nice, clear, simple. Book wash now, nice, boom, big button there. That's great. Now, mind you, that was on this one as well, book now as well. But I'd say there's a couple differences here. So book now and book wash now, very different wordings. It's only one extra word, but it does make a difference. It's just reiterating in their head what they're getting, what they're getting. I'm getting a wash, I'm getting a wash, I'm getting a wash. And that's very much in line with customers' lingo versus us. We think like, oh, detailing, detailing, detailing. A lot of customers just think car wash. Even though you're doing a detail, they're still thinking car wash. That's what they're doing. To them, they're washing their car. It's kind of like if someone goes to take a bath, they're washing themselves. To go take a shower, they're washing themselves. They're not detailing themselves. It's just how people think. We are in the industry, so we think detailing. That's true of any industry. If you go to other industries, they're going to have their own technical jargon that they're going to use. It's going to be commonplace for them. They're going to be like, well, that's how all my customers think. And it's not, like it is in some cases, and in a lot of others, it's not. So I like that this is a mix of both because this company says, mobile car wash and detailing in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Perfect. We bring the rinse, the shine, and the grind straight to your curb. No hoses, no outlets, no problem. That one sentence iterates so many different things. So we bring the rinse, the shine, and the grind. So they're telling me, all right, so they're going to do the work. and they're gonna do the wash, and my car's gonna be shiny. Straight to your curb, so boom, right to my front door. Perfect. No outlets, no hoses, no problem. So you're basically telling me it's an all-inclusive service, no problem. We take care of everything start to finish. That one sentence tells the customer all of that, which is amazing. Now, moving on, Google rating, boom, big bright Google logo right there. They have their rated there. Even though their rating is slightly less than the other website was, rated five stars. This one 4.7. This one's highlighted better. So it actually comes across better, seems more authentic, seems more credible is really the word I want. This next part is perfect. So number one, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Trusted professionals and quality services. We supply everything but your driveway. That just literally explained the value and the trust. They built the trust with me start to finish. So satisfaction guaranteed, boom, trust point. Trusted professionals and quality services, a mix of trust and value. Third point, we supply everything but your driveway, convenience and value. Then I see a mobile vehicle, a branded mobile vehicle. On the vehicle, I can see, okay, they have book online, scan book done, they have Visa, they accept different payment methods, okay, car wash and detailing made easy for you. The fact I see the vehicle, I'm like, oh, great, so they do mobile. And then DFW's top tier mobile detailing, we bring the shine to your driveway. We're not just washing cars, we're restoring dignity to your ride. They go on, as you can see, they've got text that's really alluring and appealing to customers, and then they dive in with what we offer. And here, they show you the different things they offer from their packages as well as upgrades, and they're just rotating, letting you know. But the most important part about this isn't so much about what each of these says, it's the sentence above. Rinser delivers professional detailing to your driveway. No waiting, no mess, just spotless results. They've just set the tone and the expectation for the customer on what they're going to receive, right? And then these packages and services just rotating shows me it's like, oh wow, so they offer all this kind of stuff. One of them is going to catch my eye as I see them. And the fact that they're rotating, I see them again and again and again. I'm going to focus in on one of them, and then as I go through the rest of the site, it's going to trigger back up in my brain. So then why choose us? Boom. Good stuff right there. Building more value, building more trust, how it works, explaining the process. So you're setting the expectations. Fast, simple, spotless, built to fit your schedule, not slow you down. Speak my language. Choose your package, select the date and time. We come to you. Your car's ready. 4 simple steps. Couldn't be easier. Then they hit them with book now, get 10% off your first cleaning. So you can see how delivering the same type of thing, a discount straight off the bat for first time cleaning, perfect. But they put it down below after they've already built up some confidence in my purchasing decision, after they've already convinced me and swayed my decision, right? Then trusted by drivers across Dallas Fort Worth. And here's where boom, 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 they hit me with reviews. I'm now excited, beautiful. And then once again, call to action, book now, 10% off your first cleaning, book, wash now. Very simple, right? And it lets you know the whole process. It's like you book, then you get the wash now. That's it. Boom. This couldn't be simpler. So the last component, there's a lot I love about this. First off, they list gift cards, service areas, so like little things like service areas is going to help a lot because it lets you filter out customers that you don't deal with. And look here, like servicing all vehicle types, cars, trucks, SUVs, we handle them all with pricing clearly listed up front. No hidden fees, no bullshit. Perfect. Book in 60 seconds. Why locals in Dallas Fort Worth choose Rinser? Amazing. Like they tell you the reasons why, like on-time arrival every time, rated 5 stars by drivers, transparent pricing, online payments, high-quality products and chemicals, trained detailing crew, not random gig workers. Like man, they're just poof, convincing every step of the way. Love it. So moving on now, this is one of my favorite parts about this entire website, to be honest. Your car's dirty, we fix that fast. Beautiful. We come to you, book in 60 seconds, no charge until we're done. Now take a look at this and just let this sink in. Essentials Plus, Rinser Deep, and Rinser TLC. 3 packages. That's it. Not 10 packages, not 15, not 20. Three packages. Now, another thing I really like about this is they also don't focus too much on the other stuff they did. They did mention before ceramic coating. So they did mention that. So they obviously do offer some other things. And here, boom, 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 you can book very, very simple, right? What they've done is they've streamlined this whole process. So they do have a lot of stuff that they can do, for sure. Their goal, though, they found out what they're good at, and they just said, let's just do this in volume. Let's just get these done, boom, boom, boom. So they're Essentials Plus, 75 to 90 minutes, depending on the vehicle size. Car versus truck and SUV. First off, really love the fact that they're only differentiating between those two. It's either a car or it's a truck SUV, right? Now, the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, but what if it's like this vehicle or what if it's like that? Honestly, we're not talking a huge time difference between the two. Whether it's, a truck that has, this many seats or that many seats or an SUV with a third row or, whatever. Honestly, it doesn't take that much longer. It's really not that much longer. What they've done here is simplified the whole conversation. They simplify it down to, do you want the Essentials Plus, the Rinse or Deep, the Rinse or TLC? All these customers that talk to them are going to know. There's no confusion. Do you have a car or do you have a truck or an SUV? That's it. There's no confusion. It's like, oh, well, I have, a 2020 Toyota Camry. Would that be considered a large vehicle or a small vehicle or medium? Like there's none of this confusing shit that we don't refer to vehicles like this. They know what type of vehicle they have. Do you have a car? You have a truck, you have an SUV, they know what type of vehicle they have. When you get into the whole small, medium, large vehicles, this and that, man, people get confused. You're just adding friction. You're entering more problems into the equation. You really don't need that. So they simplified it here, which I absolutely love. They have different time frames and expectations set, different price points, full transparent pricing. Boom, it's all inclusive. You're good to go. That's what you pay. You're done. Boom, out the door. It's going to be a lot easier for them to close people on repeat business under this model, 100%. Now, the other thing I love is that they show you exactly, boom, 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 this is what we do. Hand wash and towel dry, it's included in everything. Perfect. Interior wipe down, included in everything. It goes through the list. They have it all listed out, and you can clearly see in 10 seconds or less what the difference is. I don't have to call in and say, yeah, I was looking at your website, and I'm trying to figure out what's the difference between Essentials Plus and Rinse or Deep. I don't have to ask that. I can see the difference. I can see it right there, plain as day in front of my face. I'm like, okay, so the Essentials Plus doesn't include this, but the Rinse or Deep does include, the full body spray wax, the wheel rim spray wax, the clean and conditioned leather. It includes those things. It makes the sales process so much simpler. So they're not going to need as many salespeople. They just focus on getting the job done, getting it booked in, getting it boom, boom, boom done. And then they have their upsells on the other side of that. So this is really just to lock in an appointment, guarantee the customer, and then upsell them as part of the process, do follow-ups, get them on a maintenance plan, get them coming back, recurring revenue, plus having the referrals build out from there, plus getting their wife or their husband's car, plus getting, their cousin, their aunt, their Theo, their whoever. It's a way to build a proper business. They figured out what they're good at, and this is what they're doing. And I see a lot of people, they have added so many things to their business, and so long story short, this whole exercise was to show you how you can simplify and streamline something and some pluses and negatives and pros and cons about different websites and exposure online. But the biggest thing I would say is if you're in your business right now and you feel like you're kind of all over the place and you're often having to explain things to customers and customers are kind of confused with what you're offering, what you're selling, what the difference is, one of the best things you can do is try and strip it away so it's just one thing. There's one thing that you sell. That's it. And then take that one thing and see who complains that all the other things are missing and then slowly add stuff back in. But ultimately, what you want to do is get to a point where you take a look at your money makers, what's actually making money, what's actually enjoyable to do, what your staff actually enjoy performing, and what's, bringing in the biggest return on your investment of staff, chemicals, rent, overhead, mobile vans, whatever the case is. Figure out what those things are, and that becomes your entire menu. That's your entire service list. You don't need to offer everything under the sun. There's shops out there that don't offer paint correction. There's shops out there that don't offer detailing even. I'm a big fan of if you were doing detailing and you're also doing tinting, for example, well, maybe dropping one of those could make sense. But if you're doing, let's say, detailing, and you say, ah, man, I hate doing, interiors, exteriors only from now on, that, in my opinion, is going the wrong direction. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is if you offer several different services, so oh yeah, we even do like engine bay cleaning. We do we'll smoke out your tail lights, like whatever it is. There's some of those things that you're going to have to drop. Yeah, you might gain one or two clients a year or maybe 10, 20 clients a year from that service, but if it's taking you away from the service that's going to bring you 200 clients a year, you're really further ahead if you just drop that service 100%. And so that's what I'm talking about here when I mention that kind of stuff. And so a way to look at this is so Warren Buffett, one time, big time investor, I'm sure you've heard of him for sure. So he said the best way to become a good investor would be if you imagine that life gives you a punch card basically, and you've got, I can't remember the number, but it was like 10 or 20 like punches on the punch card. And those punch cards, each stamp represented one investment that you could make in your lifetime. So throughout your lifetime, you could only make like 10 or 20, whatever the count was. And so when you think about it, if you're like, okay, I know in my lifetime I can only make 10 or 20 investments. I can only buy 10 or 20 stocks. Okay. You're going to be really discerning about what stocks that you purchase because you can't just throw those stamps away. So you're like, okay, I won't buy this one. Maybe next year I'll buy this one instead. You're going to be a lot more careful with those decisions that you make because you only have a finite number of them. You have to think about that with your business as well. If you've got a few opportunities where you can make money in your business and you've got a few things that you can focus on, you need to really look at your business like that punch card. You have to say, okay, this year, there's only two things I can focus on. Or maybe there's only one thing you can focus on. Maybe we wanted to introduce this new service, but we want to upsell these things, but we don't have a really good salesperson right now. Okay, so if you had that new product to upsell, or you had that new service to do, but you don't have a salesperson to sell it, what do you think is most important in that moment? So it's like, okay, we really got to focus on a salesperson. Well, and guess what? All that other shit doesn't matter at all. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about the new service or the new product or whatever. Focus on getting a new salesperson. Until you get a new salesperson and they're trained up and they're actively selling your stuff, you can't introduce anything else. Pretend it doesn't even exist. Now, if that wasn't your problem, you have a good salesperson and you're like, we want to do, bring in this upsell, but we also want to try this new service out as well. Well, talk to your sales team. Find out, like, take a look at their numbers. Take a look at their sales. What are they having the best time selling? Are they selling the most of a certain product or something like that, new chemical or new whatever, a little take-home DIY, detail your own vehicle in between visits package, whatever the case may be. If that's the case, then maybe that upsell makes more sense. Or maybe, you've done some research and you're like, there's actually a massive market for this service instead of this upsell. Then that's the thing you focus on and drop the other one for now. Just forget it even exists. So the point of this whole thing is start taking a look at your business as if you have that punch card. And there's only one, maybe two things that you can focus on this year that you're going to change, you're going to improve, you're going to enhance, you're going to try, you're going to, whatever the case is, you're going to blank, 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 fill it in. You've got one or two things this year that you're going to do. All the other stuff that you put on your list that you deemed is important, you got to take it off your list, table it, set it for next year. Focus on the things that matter right now, because if you're not focused on those 100% and you're focused on a bunch of other stuff, then technically you're not focused on anything and you're just going to half-ass everything or not even get it done. So the best thing you can do is find that thing, that one punch card item, and you punch that ticket. You give it everything you got, and this year, you still got several months left till the end of the year. Get it done. That's what you got to do this year. So guys, listen, take a look at these websites, take a look at, review this video, replay it, and you're going to learn some stuff, ways that you can improve your own business, improve your own website, and your exposure online. This is the kind of stuff customers are looking at. This is what they're looking for. And this is how you can navigate the road ahead for the last quarter of this year. Let's go.